Hello everyone and welcome to today's live stream. This is our 18th live stream on Discord, and what we do on this stream is we try to build in public to carry our community along with our journey on how we build the services that we use here at Shardeum. The one that we're building today is the network monitoring status site, which helps us track and monitor and report downtimes for all of the different services that Shardeum has. This includes our monitor server, our JSON RPC server, our documentation, website, explorer, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to optimize all of these different services to use their new endpoints because we're currently running Shardeum Atomium Network at the moment. And I believe our network status site is currently pointing to the previous network. So we're going to update all of that. And if we have enough time on our hands, we can also add a new service that we should monitor, which is the faucet, so that we can also add it to part of our tracked services. So what we're going to do is we're going to just switch over to the code base for these services. I already have them locally. If you want to build along, you can just clone the repository. And yeah, let's run this and see what we get. First, I have to run the Prometheus server. If you're joining us for the first time, how these services work is we have a Prometheus time series database that stores our time series data. We have a backend server that calls all the endpoints of the services that we've provided, and it will basically call this endpoint. It's going to compare the response it gets with the response that we've provided, and if it is the same, then it's going to say that the service is online. Otherwise, it's going to say that the service is offline. And then for the front end, we're basically just fetching that data here, getting the latest services and displaying that in the UI for users to see. So that's how the three services work together. So I'm going to start this is also on a different screen, so you won't see that, but I'm just going to start the Prometheus server. It's running now, and here I can start our backend server npm start. It's going to start on port 3003. It's good. Let me just confirm that Prometheus is expecting it on that port. It is. Okay. So immediately the logs of the backend that some of our services are unhealthy. So let's do npm run dev. Yeah, just to see if we get the same experience on the UI. Yeah, I remember that I saw invalid URL. Okay, yes, so we need an env file in the front end directory. Now we can see that it has reloaded the env. So if we go back to the browser, there we go. We now see that we have our services showing up, and most of them are offline, which is expected, because these are the old network URLs. So first order of business, let's update all of these UIs, all of these URLs, and I'm just going to grab them from Shardeum's Discord. And I'm just going to grab them from the Shardeum Slack channel. We have a channel where we have all of the updated network details. So I'm just going to grab them from there. Let's start from the top. The archive server is no longer this one. This is for the Sphinx network. So let me find the URL of the Atomium Network archive server. It's this one. All right, let's put the URL here. And actually, I want to also run that on the browser so I can see the structure of the response. And then the owner is 794. I need this to be able to mock the expected response accurately. So let's put that here. Okay. Then the monitor server.
let's grab the Atomium Network monitor server URL, and then I'm going to get rid of this one. I think the expected response should be the same, ascending, just a string in the UI. Then for the JSON RPC server, it should also change because we have a new JSON RPC server. Everything else should be the same, you know, when you so everything else should be the same. Then the Explorer server is obviously wrong, just looking at the URL. So let's remove that and change Sphinx to Atomium. Yeah, and that should do it. Everything else can be the same. And the website is currently online, documentation is currently online based on what we've seen before. So I'm just going to save this. The 20 seconds, so I think we just have to give it 20 seconds and we should get the updated and we should get, so I think we should just give it 20 seconds and we should get the update on the UI. Maybe it's been 20 seconds, who knows. I'm just gonna refresh. There we go. Everything is online except for the Explorer. I thought we changed that. Let's see. Explorer Atomium Shardeum.org. I'm gonna just copy that and see if the Explorer is offline for some reason. It is online. So what are we missing? Okay, we don't have an expected response field for it. That is why, because we have to compare the result of checking this website with a provided result. So let's just, I'm going to use a URL. I'm going to use a string and put that here, save. So when it checks this website, it's going to look for the existence of this string, and if he finds it, then we know that the Explorer is online and accessible. I'm going to give you 20 seconds again. Probably should have been 20 seconds. I don't know, I'm going to, yeah, there we go. So we have all our services online now. Awesome. While I'm doing this and this is going on, if you have any questions about the incentivized testnets, if you have any questions about running your node, performing your quests, doing your tasks, just put it in the chat. Even if I can't help you with it, I will find the right person to provide the right support. And I really like that people are opening issues on this network status project. So please go ahead, see if there's something you'd like to help us with, read the documentation, open a PR, or just generally on the Shardeum organization as well. If there's anything that interests you that you'd like to help us build, we have a couple of these open source projects that you can help and support with documentation, with code, with reviews, with research, however way you can help. We appreciate every kind of contribution. All right. What do we want to do next? So now that we have all these services online, the next thing I want to do is let's add the faucet to the services that we're monitoring, right? Because we do want to keep people aware if the faucet is down, if you're trying to, because it's one of our core services, if you're trying to fund your wallet, if you want to stake your node, things like that will require you to use the faucet. And we want to be sure that we let you know when anything is wrong with the faucet. So let's go ahead and actually implement that. So it's just going to be, because of how we've set up this project, it's going to be as easy as adding a new object here with a URL that is going to point to the faucet URL. And the faucet URL is probably just the same as this one, but faucet instead of GitHub. So let's replace Explorer with faucet. And then we have two endpoints for checking if the faucet is, well, alive. The first one is dash alive. So this will let you know if the faucet is alive, if it's, it's not dead, basically. And then the second one is healthy. And this will let you know if the faucet is behaving the way that it should, if it's, dispersing SHM to different wallets, if it's basically working as it's supposed to. So that's the one we're going to use. And then let's give it a name, faucet. Let's give it a help text. This is the Shardeum Faucet, and we need an expected response. Now, in this case, the expected response is going to be a bit different. And let me show you what expected response is like. So look at it here. So if you send this request, it's going to return that the health of the faucet is true, and that's what I'm going to use here. Actually, let's just copy that. You know what, I'm just going to type. So let's do health is not okay, but is true. Yeah, and that should do it. The endpoint, and this is the expected response. All right. I think after a few seconds, we should see it show up somewhere here as part of the services we're monitoring. And that is really all we need to do. Anytime we want to add or monitor a new service, we just provide the details of that service based on how we've set up the project. So let's refresh, and we see that our faucet is now coming through. Awesome. All right, and let's see the uptime monitor. We see that the faucet is here. Fantastic. Cool. The last thing we want to do is to add the faucet to the latency graph. So if you look at the latency graph, this basically shows us the latency of the different services. I want to be able to see the faucet here as well. So let's just do that. I'm going to go to the front end, go to the latency. And again, all we have to do now is just add faucet here. And that should be it. Pretty much. So because we're already fetching all the services from our fetch status, given the fact that we already have faucet showing up here, it means it is already coming through as part of our services. So we just want to add faucet to the server services, and we should be able to, there we go, see, we've got our faucet. But I'm not sure if we are getting the faucet data coming through. I don't think so. So I'm just gonna restart the UI. And reload this page. There we go. So we see that our faucet is coming through now. Awesome. All right, what else do I want to do? I think this is pretty much all of it. So I'm just going to push this project up to GitHub, and something else I wanted to do is to change I just remembered, is to change the interval of the uptime monitor to maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes. At the moment, if you look at it, it's updating every 2 minutes. So this is 6:30, this is 6:32. 6:34, so every 2 minutes. But I haven't quite decided on the right time frame to use for the uptime updates. So I'm going to maybe do that on a different PR. But yeah, that is something that I also wanted to do as an update. But yeah, this is all I wanted to do today on the stream. So I want to say thank you for joining us today on today's stream. Something that I've been promising and I've been saying that we'll start doing is issuing POAPs for attendance, right? So for all of you that spent today with us, learning how to do these things, I'm sure some of you are probably also, working on the network status site locally on your machines. We just want to appreciate you for, putting in the effort and coming every week to join the stream. As a result, I finally have that Pro app, and I'm going to be sharing that link in the chat with all of you. So go ahead, click on the link, connect your wallet, and whitelist your wallet. And that way, we are going to have access to your wallet, and we will issue you your Pro apps when we go to mainnet. So once again, thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope to see you next time.